Step 54, Finances for Frozen Embryo Transfer Cycle. Here I will explain item categories and the cycle fees, source of funding, and payment time. In frozen embryo transfer cycle, you may need to pay for following items: drugs, blood tests, ultrasound scan, consultation fees, embryology lab, other types of fees, and transfer procedures. When you get the items for fees, and you need to clarify which of these items are included in your cycle fees. Generally, there are 3 different types of cycle fees: all inclusive, which means you pay only once and you don't need to pay for any other item; and pay as you go, which means you pay as you go in terms of what items you used, and also maybe a mixture of both. And in terms of fees, these fees need to come from one of these 4 sources: out of pocket, which means you will pay; and the second is government insurance, let us say Medicare or NHS, or different type of government insurance; and the third is a private insurance base; and the fourth is a free of charge. Some clinics make some items free of charge. And you need to know when you need to pay. In order to reduce the stress, you need to clarify whether you should pay before your cycle or after using each item. I will take you through frozen embryo transfer cycle and explain all these items you may need to pay for. So before you start frozen embryo transfer cycle, you have a consultation with your fertility specialist, who goes through your history and optimization, goes through the optimization of your frozen embryo transfer cycle, then create a cycle plan. So you need to know whether you need to pay for this consultation or whether it's going to be paid by your government insurance, for example. So in frozen embryo transfer cycle, you don't need a lot of drugs like in fresh cycle. Generally, from that point of view, frozen cycles are cheaper, but you still use some drugs like letrozole, clomid, which are not very expensive. If you use FSH drugs like stimulation drugs, they can be expensive. You need to find out whether you are going to pay yourself, whether you're going to use any government insurance for that, and you may use a trigger injection, and also you do certain number of blood tests for monitoring of your hormones from the beginning of your cycle until you do trigger shot or you have an ovulation. So then you do at least one ultrasound scan. Again, you need to clarify who will be paying and how much it will cost. And then you will buy progesterone. Then you have an embryo transfer procedure performed by your specialist, and most clinics charge for this procedure. You need to clarify who will be paying and how much it will cost. Then you have a pregnancy blood test and pregnancy ultrasound scan. Again, you need to clarify who will be paying for the scan and blood test fees. Essentially, understanding all the items for frozen embryo transfer cycle is very important in order to reduce your stress during the cycle.